Not long after the Mukden incident, which occurred in September 1931, Japanese forces finally managed to take over Manchuria, which was a part of China. This plan had been carefully prepared by the Japanese, who at the time desperately needed natural resources to enlarge their territory. Despite facing an embargo from the United States, Japanese forces became even more aggressive in penetrating further into Chinese territory. On the other hand, on the European continent to be precise, under the leadership of Adolf Hitler, Germany began to devise strategies to increase their military superiority, with the hope of restoring the glory of the Prussian Empire. Although the world was still reeling from the trauma of World War I, Germany took steps to annex Austria and the Sudetenland in 1938. Although other countries have given warnings and sanctions to Germany, the warnings were not enough to stop the Nazi regime's atrocities in the future. Meanwhile, in 1918, Italy was engulfed in an economic and political crisis, sparking various rebellious movements. In 1922, a leader named Benito Mussolini was appointed as Italy's youngest prime minister. Not long after, 4 years later, Mussolini declared himself as the dictator in control of Italy, and ran a strict authoritarian government. Mussolini promised to restore Italy's glory, and initiated his first invasion by attacking Ethiopia in October 1935. As a result of the brutal actions of these three countries, the world situation became increasingly tense, along with the aggression from Germany, Italy, and Japan. This act of aggression left the three countries with few allies among the nations of the world. However, to overcome their isolation, they began to close ranks and sign agreements and pacts. In 1936, relations between Germany and Italy began to tighten, after the League of Nations imposed sanctions on Italy for the invasion of Abyssinia, and Italy's alliance with England and France came to an end. On October 25, 1936, the two countries signed a friendship agreement to pursue joint foreign policies. Fascist dictator Benito Mussolini then declared that the Germany-Italy alliance was an axis that allowed other European countries to join. A month later, on November 25, 1936, Nazi Germany and Imperial Japan signed the Anti-Comintern Pact, which aimed to pledge mutual assistance in combating the threat posed by the Communist International. This pact bound both countries to assist each other in combating the threat from international communism. The pact also included an agreement between Germany and Japan that if one of them attacked the Soviet Union, the other would remain neutral. After observing the development of relations between Germany and Japan, Italy also became interested in joining the alliance. Italy hoped that an alliance with Japan could put pressure on Britain to be more accommodating towards Italy in the Mediterranean region. Initially, Japan was not very enthusiastic about the proposal for an alliance with Italy. Japan considered their alliance with Italy as secondary to their alliance with Germany. Japan had anticipated that their alliance with Italy would antagonize Britain, which had condemned Italy's invasion of Ethiopia. However, Japan's attitude began to change in 1937, after the League of Nations condemned Japan's aggression in China, while Italy continued to support them. In response to Italy's support, Japan became more open to Italy and even offered proposals for a non-aggression pact, or neutrality. Finally, Italy joined the Anti-Comintern Pact on November 6, 1937. For months before Germany began its invasion of Poland, on May 22, 1939, Italy and Germany expanded their political alliance into a military alliance. This agreement, known as the Pact of Steel, was a milestone in European politics at the time. The Pact of Steel was a military political agreement that aimed to challenge the power of Great Britain and France. However, Japan did not support the Pact of Steel because they saw the Soviet Union as the main threat, not the Western European countries. This led the Japanese military to view the Molotov-Ribbentrop Non-Aggression Pact that was signed on August 23, 1939 as a betrayal. After the outbreak of World War II, Japan once again joined Germany in the alliance, primarily because Japanese political and military leaders began planning for the occupation of European colonies in Southeast Asia. This move was made after the conflict with the Soviet Union in 1938 failed to achieve its objectives. Support for this situation grew stronger after the defeat of France and the weakening of Britain's position. On September 27, 1940, Germany, Italy, and Japan finally signed the Tripartite Pact, which officially solidified their alliance as the axis of powers. In the pact, Japan recognized the leadership of Germany and Italy in shaping a new order in Europe, while Germany and Italy recognized Japan's right to shape a new order in East Asia. The strength of the Axis then continued to grow, with the joining of other countries such as Hungary, Romania, Slovakia, Bulgaria, Yugoslavia, Croatia, and Finland, which further strengthened the power of the Axis. It was also a warning to the United States to keep out of the German and Italian wars in Europe and North Africa, and a warning not to intervene in the Japanese conquest of East Asia.